get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Hey, hey. What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So glad to be here again with y'all. Let me adjust myself. Anyway, so glad to be here with you all. So glad that you all are here with me as you all come in the room, come in the building to be edified and to, talk the politics of it all. We're going to do that this morning. We're going to talk it out. We're going to give you some great information this morning. Y'all know I like to try to not just spew out stuff, but give you information and sometimes give you homework so that hey, right, edify your souls. So that you can go out and do your own homework and hit the ground running and do those things that we need to do as a people in these yet to be United States of America so that we can be better and do better and the country can do better by us. Hey MBN, hey little baby, hey Danny, hey everybody as you come in the room. I appreciate y'all for being here and we're gonna make it do what it do this morning. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make it do what it do. Um, but yeah, we're gonna talk it out. We're gonna talk about some things. Shouts out to Jason. I don't know what my boss is. Y'all hold on a second. My boss is text. God, what does he want? God, what do he want? Y'all hold on one second. Let me see what this young man wants with my life. Oh dear God. Oh, okay. Oh Lord. And I know what he want. The reason that I took it is because my boss has been sick lately, and I was having to do all of his job and my job, and that also coupled with the fact that we have one coworker that had COVID, that still has COVID, still in the hospital. One just got off of quarantine, and so even though my boss and I were doing everything, now that my boss is back sick, my boss actually had a stroke on Sunday. We were on a Zoom meeting on Sunday for work, and he was trying to get grossed back with being back on the job, and so we were on a Zoom call, and so on Sunday, and because he had been out for a while, and I had been helping him doing his job, so I've been going to the Sunday meetings anyway, even though that's not my meeting, that's it for his meeting and the higher ups. So I just happened to be there because I had been on the last couple ones because I'm his designee. And in the middle of the meeting, I thought something was wrong with his camera because the whole side of his face started to like drift, and yeah, it was bad. But he's recuperating. He has partial paralysis on that side, but not full paralysis. Like he could do a little bit, but he says it's been getting better and coming back. Whatever, that's my stuff. So I'm gonna be back to 10, 12, 16 hour days again at work for the foreseeable future, at least till at least one of them, either the one who has COVID comes back or my boss comes back from there. I don't know. We don't know. We might have to hire more people. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. Anyway, my boss has a C in front of his name. Hey, Joshua, I need you to do what you do and go get me that information that you know I need. You're supposed to be working in the streets to get me that information, Josh. No, that wasn't you, Josh. God damn it, Joshua. It wasn't you. It was Xavier. I apologize, Josh. It's not you. It's Xavier. Hey, Josh. Let me. I came right at Josh Whitfield. I'm sorry, Josh. My bad, bro. I'm sorry. Was it you? It was Xavier. Oh man, no, 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 no. It was Xavier. It was Xavier. Was supposed to do something, and I need him to do that. Anyway, so sorry, Josh. Welcome, Shondo, to you, Josh. Now that we got all that out of the way, preliminaries, so forth, let's get into some of these politics. Let's talk about it all. And also, y'all, y'all know I try to do at least one politics or sometimes two politics talks a week. If you have something that you want to send me to go look at and talk about and give commentary on, just let me know or send me an email. Oh, child, Josh, you don't want to know. It's real debaucherous. I'll tell you back channel. Hit me up back channel. You might want to know, Josh. You might want to know. Anyway, uh, but anyway, if there's something that you want me to discuss, talk about, give commentary on, hit me up with an email or a DM or something like that, and I'll definitely look into it. One of our stories today, Jason sent me. He wanted me to look into the story of what's going on in his great state of Arizona. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Actually, we're going to start with that. Um, I do have some information. I believe what's going to end up happening is I think there's going to be two for I don't think it's going to end up being 51. I think there's going to end up being 52 because they're talking about if they're going to do DC, they're also going to do Puerto Rico probably at the same time. Hey, Button Jessica. Shondo to you. I see the mod squad is in the building. Shouts out to the mod squad chat. If you're not in the mod squad chat, I don't know. Tell you, I mean, there's a chat just for the mod squad. Mm, mm. Actually, if you're a part of the teacher's pet level of membership, that gives you also access to that chat. But right now, it's just the mod squad. Anyway, what am I eating? Since I have on my Kool-Aid, y'all can see I have on my um oh yeah Kool-Aid t-shirt, and thus I'm eating Kool-Aid snacks. Hey, Zap Allen. All right, let's get right down to it. So, Jason, oh, let me do this one more time because I want to do this because Jason is the one who asked me to give commentary on this story. And I don't want to do it without him being here. So, let me give me just a second to send him a message and let him know that we're over here talking about it. Come on, phone. Hold on. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm ready. For real this time. For real. All right. So thank you thank you so much, Button Jessica. So Jeff say he want a ranch. You want a ranch, So Jeff? We'll see. So Jeff say you might get one. So Jeff, hit me up in the DMs. See what you gonna work for this good ranch. Show me your ranch and I'll give you a ranch. How about that? Anyway. um thank you so much, Button Jessica. All of that good stuff. All of that good stuff. Shouts out to Button Jessica. And shouts out to Little Baby, So Jeff, all y'all in the chat, Joshua, Zap Allen. I know Danny is in here, MV all my people are in here. Let's get edified. Let's talk about some things and let's get cracking. So, in the great state of Arizona, what am I drinking on? I found this, no alcohol, not yet. I found this great new lemonade that Publix has in the Publix Deli passion fruit basil flavored lemonade. It's so good. So good. If you got a Publix in your area, go get some. It's so good. Hey Vovo. What's up, my love? Shando to you. So in the great state of Arizona, Arizona, you know, because in these yet to be United States of America, we got shit going on. Shit, that scared me. We got shit going on where now we're trying to rewrite history. Don't be coming out the bushes, really be talking about my public. I'm not doing this with you, Joshua. I told you how to hit me up about the juicy stuff. Okay. Anyway, in the great state of Arizona, what they're doing is this: they have decided that they're going to have a whole ass recount from the 2020 elections. You know, the elections that Donald Trump lost, the election that where he also lost the great state of Arizona, because the Arizona Republicans just can't. Republicans across the fruited plains are losing their fucking minds. They're foaming at the goddamn mouth. They are losing it. They cannot accept defeat at all. So we got a full-fledged recount going on in the great state of Arizona. Okay. Now, mind you, it's a lot more racier than you think. Okay. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They are auditing 2.1 million votes out there in Arizona. They're going through checking it now. The Arizona state senators, okay, subpoenaed 2.1 million votes that were cast back in November. So here's what happens. These same Republican state senator decided to go to my home state of Florida because that's where you go when you want to do nefarious things. They decided to seek the help of this company called Cyber Ninja. I know, I know. Just the name Cyber Ninja is too close to them saying cyber, you know what? But we just gonna let it go like that, okay? We even know some people substitute ninja instead of saying the N word. We know that too. But we gonna let it we gonna keep it moving. We gonna ignore all of that and keep it rolling, okay? So Cyber Ninja is a tech company, okay? And they go it's a private tech company. Now, one would think that no, let me backtrack and back off of that. One should not think that these great Republicans would incorporate or integrate into this process a third party neutral company, a company that doesn't have an axe to grind, a company that's going to come in, do the right thing, look at it objectively, and call what's black black and what's white white, and call it a day. No gray areas. And decipher all of the gray areas. Okay. No, we would never expect the Republican Party in these yet to be United States to do that. So, in the great state of Arizona, they decided to get this private technology company called Cyber Ninja to audit these 2.1 million ballots. Let me give you some information on Cyber Ninja out of the great state of Florida, based out of Florida. They are headed by a gentleman by the name of Doug Logan. Now, that may not seem important. Why do I care who the CEO of this company is? There's a very good reason you should know who the CEO of this company is. Doug Logan is a whole clown. Doug Logan is lock in step with the leaders of QAnon, the leaders of all of the nefarious organizations out there. Okay, Doug Logan said on Twitter that he does believe there was election fraud, and that quote people better get wise fast, end quote, when speaking on national public radio about his beliefs about the election last November. He also wrote a document called, let me get the name right, Election Fraud Facts and Details, okay? Where he lays out all of these conspiracy theories and allegations about elections that have already been unproven, that have already been debunked. But he just lays them out there like as if they're facts. And he rests on the fact that he is the CEO of a tech company that goes out and audits a lot of different things. Mind you, this is the smoke and mirrors thing, because a lot of times what ends up happening is these tech companies, they're not doing the right thing. They're not doing right by anybody. What they're doing is they're doing the bidding and the work of Republicans. Let's be clear. It's a whole mess out here, y'all. It's a whole ass mess. Do you hear me? So, hey, what's up, Nappy Child? So that's first and foremost. You got that going on. Excuse me. Shondo to you, Nappy Child. Right. And then it's a whole cash cow. It's a whole money grab. So these Republican senators can get what they want, which is for them to say that there was widespread election fraud. Then they can line the pockets of their, racist ass friends over there and so forth. It's a whole coordinated shit show, an entirely coordinated shit show. And that's why I always say we have to be very careful, because when we think out things and we start to talk about what's going on, most times people will only investigate it to maybe the second level, not knowing that these people have gone down 20, 30, 40 levels in terms of embedding the systemic racism and so forth into every process across America, and then they try to tell you, oh no, it's not that, and then they even convince some of our own people who know that it's going on, but then they always be like, well, it's really not that bad. We shouldn't always think race is involved. Everything isn't doesn't involve race, and everything isn't racist, and we shouldn't always pull out the race card, not knowing that for even though they say we shouldn't always pull out the race card, our white counterparts are always doing it. We just don't open our eyes to it. We just don't see how embedded and how deep, deep it goes, and how subtle they try to get with it. It is way more widespread. And so that's why I get offended when even some of our own people be like, well, it's just not everything is not race. Everything has to have to do with race. So says you, and that is what they want you to believe because they want you to keep the blinders on and the rose colored glasses on, and you to think, oh, it's okay. No, no. And I know I come off as the, perpetual pessimist, but somebody has to be the voice of, nah, it ain't going like that. Mm-mm. Um, Now, this is supposed to be, remember I told you he wrote this document, and or they say there is no we'll get there in a second. Now, this is supposed to be a document where he's um talking about the fact that there is widespread voter fraud in different places and allegations and so forth. And you would think that, and he comes off trying to, like I said earlier, trying to place himself as being credible, trying to place himself as an expert and having expertise in this field. And so you'll see him come on shows and panels as the expert. But even in his own writings and stuff like that, I have a quote where he says about these allegations and some of these conspiracy theories that he has. He says, quote, some of it is based on my own research, but quite a bit is information I got from other people, but personally vetted, end quote. Who are these people? And what is your vetting process? Is your vetting process whether or not it aligns itself with your ideology and frame of thinking? Is that your vetting process? So here we have a company whose CEO is just throwing out all kinds of conspiracy theories all over with no factual basis, no scientific reason, no scientific backing, no numbers or statistics to back it up. Hey, Jason, but he's the head of Cyber Ninjas, the very same Cyber Ninjas company that these Republican senators out in the great state of Arizona went and got to help them audit these 2.1 million votes out there down to the great state of Arizona. So from its inception, what's up, BR Burns? Jason, we talk about your state. This is all set up to be a bunch of this is all set up. You see the setup here? You see how this is being set up, right? So when the reports come out, they're going to come out telling you, "Oh, we did this the right way. Oh, we made sure that we used a third party company, not even based here um in Arizona, and this company is a privately owned tech company, and so forth." And you notice how a lot of times people will throw that privately owned moniker out there about people or about companies as if that makes them more credible, as if that gives them more validity. when it doesn't, when a lot of times it gives them less credibility and less validity because the vetting process for them and the process by which they can call themselves whatever they call themselves isn't as quite as rigorous or sanctioned or whatnot. Just a whole goddamn mess. Just a whole goddamn mess. But that's the um that's the background, the foundation of it. Mind you, this is all about Sharpie Gate, okay? What is Sharpie Gate? I'm glad you asked. Jason probably has heard that term at nauseum, okay? At nauseum. Oh, let me give you some more about what, hey Yana, what the Cyber Ninja did. So this past Friday, the Cyber Ninjas were asked by a judge to quote turn over its plans and procedures amid concerns about the security of the country's ballots and voter privacy. Um, because there was rumors that they were going to start putting information out there across in the public about what and how votes were cast and counted and stuff like that. It's just a whole mess out there. I don't know, and this is just one state, Arizona. We're gonna get to all of the mess going on in all of the other states, but this is one state, and so there were people trying to stop this recount, and the judge overturned it, as well on Friday, and they still haven't figured out who's going to do the counting. They still haven't figured out how this is going to be paid for. And it's just a whole shit show. Okay. Just a whole shit show. Now, this all started. Oh, I should tell you, they're recounting this down there to one of the stadiums down there. I think the Phoenix part of the stadium where the Cardinals play. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Jason, I know you're closer to the action, but they down there got voting ballots spread out all over the floor down to this good stadium. Okay, I mean it doesn't look like any type of operation that you would expect to see. Oh no, we don't went back to archaic times. Way back. It's just a mess, just a damn mess. There were also protesters there that were asking the judge, because all of this was went to court on Friday, about wanting to be able to see the process and be able to see these people counting and make sure that they're doing right when they count different things, and they've been told no. Yep. I this is what's going on in these yet to be United States of America. Okay, this is what's going on. So let me go back to Sharpie Gate. This all happens because of Sharpie Gate. Sharpie Gate happened because in Arizona, there were people who were using Sharpies to mark their ballots. And so there was this big thing that the right put out saying, "Oh, we've been told that if you use a Sharpie to fill out your ballot, it won't be counted." Whereas the elections officials in Maricopa County and all of the other large counties where Biden won said, no, that's not the case. Sharpies does not disqualify as you from your ballot from being counted. So then there was trending on Twitter and everything the hashtag SharpieGate because um they were saying that that's how people's votes were counted, and so that's the basis of a lot of those litigations and so forth that you saw during the before the inauguration when Donald Trump and his band of married men were contesting the votes, and that's part of the reason why you saw all of those Republicans calling out Arizona as when they were certifying the election. That just a whole shit show. Okay, a whole shit show. Mind you, at this point, even if they gave Arizona to Donald Trump, he still would not win. Even if they gave Arizona as well as Pennsylvania, he still would not win. What are we doing? Mind you, the State Department under the Trump administration, okay, already came out and certified that this was the most secure election that we've had in the history of America. The most secure. But man, that's what we got going on, y'all, in the great state of Arizona. So I wanted to let y'all know and bring y'all up to speed on that because um I I don't y'all see I'm at a loss of words because I just don't know how much more we can hear, how much more we can bear, but I'm here for it. Sometimes you get weary and well doing, and you get fatigue and so forth. I'm not gonna get tired. I'm not gonna come off the wall. I'm not gonna get fatigued because these yet to be United States of America are doing everything in their world in their power to take out black people. The genocide of us as a people is in full swing, whether or not you want to believe it. Whether or not you want to believe it. They want us to get. There was a point where, because don't think the media is not a part of it. There was a point where they wouldn't give you anything involving black people. Now you get overload. And so they go from one extreme where you're getting no information to the next extreme where you're getting so much information and you get information overload and you get to the point where you get fatigue and you get like, oh, I don't want to hear no more. I'm tired. I don't want us to get tired. I don't. I don't want myself to get tired. I don't want myself to get fatigued and all that. I'm going to ignore Lady G and her assertions that America is not racist and there is no systemic racism in these yet to be United States of America. It's easy for Lady G to say that while she's snorting lines of coke off of some escort's peen because she has her white privilege and she sits there in the Senate chambers protected and so forth. But there's no systemic racism. Mind you, no less than twice a week, sometimes three, four times a week. And this is depending on where you live. You hear of another police shooting of another black person in these yet to be United States of America. Doesn't matter if they're old, doesn't matter if they're young, doesn't matter if they're middle aged, they're killing us all. That's why I say the genocide continues. And continuing on with that, now here's where I'm going to do my whole Rachel Maddow. I'm gonna do my whole Rachel Maddow. And the reason I say I'm gonna do my whole Rachel Maddow impression is Rachel Maddow is good about the first 15, 20 minutes of the show. You know, she goes no commercial for the first 15, 20 minutes. And she will start off talking about these things, and she has all of these, and you have no idea where she's going. It's somewhere around the two-thirds being finished, she will start to connect the dots and say, I'm telling you, the first 8 minutes, I don't know where Rachel be going with some of the stuff that she be saying. And then eventually it come around about the 12-minute mark. You say, oh, that's where you were going with that. You say that's your lesbian crush every end. I hear you. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to let's talk about an HBCU. I don't know where my girl really be at. Gonna talk about an HBCU down to the great state of North Carolina, North Kakalaki. Okay, you say your mom swears she gave birth to Rachel. So let's talk about an HBCU down there to North Kakalaki. Okay, so the HBCU that we are going to, where's my stuff? Get my info. Let me get this right for y'all. The HBCU that we're going to speak on in North Kakalaki, where's my info? Oh, is Elizabeth City State University. Okay. Elizabeth City State University is, of course, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. It is an HBCU. It is it's not as well known in terms of HBCUs, but it's an HBCU nonetheless. Um Students in that great HBCU have been told that they have by noon today to leave their dorms. Okay, they've been asked to leave their dorms by noon today. All classes are canceled and so forth. Okay, now they've been asked to do that because a state of emergency has been declared in that city. And in any city or state, when an HBCU, not an HBCU, when a state of emergency is is called or made, when it's declared, you can do extraordinary things. You can tell college students, hey, everybody need to leave the dorms and go home. Go, I don't know where you're going, but you got to get out of here. They can say, there's a curfew at such and such time. I don't know what you had to do, but I need everybody in the house. When a state of emergency is declared in a town, a city, a state, what ends up happening is it allows the mayor, the city council, the governor, the people in positions of power to do extraordinary things, things that they would not normally be able to do. So you have this wonderful HBCU down here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Elizabeth City State University, where they have been told that classes are canceled today and that they have um, declared the state of emergency. All right. Why is this happening? Because in the great city of Elizabeth City, hey Fifi TV, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, a young man by the name of Andrew Brown was executed by police. Um, and let me tell you the story of Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown was at home. He was he at home? I believe he was at home, if I'm not mistaken. That is not important to what I'm going to say. He was in the car. The police issued a warrant. There was a warrant um, for him, and apparently there was information that said that police had been following him for over a year. He had been selling drugs to undercover police for so much for at least a year. They had been following him because he had been in drug gang. He was selling drugs to undercover cops and so forth. They had been watching him for over a year. So apparently they had gotten to come to a head. He had a warrant. The warrant was issued and so forth. So Andrew Brown is in his car. He's driving off, and he has um, hands on 10 and 2, and starts to back out, and they start to shoot up the car, execution style, while simultaneously yelling at him, "Put your hands out," or "Put your hands up," "Put your hands up" in the car. Put your hands where we can see them while they're shooting him to death, and a barrage of bullets, so much so that they said you could see through large parts of the car. The man is dead. The man got I think like 7 kids or whatnot. But anyway, all of this happened in about 20 to 30 seconds. The family was allowed yesterday to see the body cam footage of um the shooting, of the execution. And the family has a large amount of representation. Of course, Ben Crump is there, but I'm glad to see Bakari Sellers there. Bakari Sellers, who you've seen on CNN and some other news stations, but Bakari Sellers is also representing the family. He went in there with some of the other attorneys with the family to look at the body cam footage, and he said that the city attorney for Elizabeth City told them, "I will not be fucking bullied by you people." Meaning, I'm not gonna be bullied into anything y'all want me to do into putting this body cam footage out. This is the city attorney. We ain't even talking about the police. We're talking about the city attorney. Okay, who told them in no estimate? Who's telling the lawyers for the family, "I will not be fucking bullied," letting them know we're not here for your shit. So they came out, they had a press conference yesterday. It's been all over the news, so forth and so on. Um, where they're going to do, I don't know if we are going to be able to see it, because in the state like North Carolina, here's where we're getting to our point. In a state like North Carolina, a judge has to order the release of body cam footage. It cannot be released by the mayor, the governor. It has to be ordered by a judge. Let me get back to Elizabeth State University. Elizabeth State University, an HBCU, which means that it's predominantly Black, is in a city now that where the city mayor has declared a state of emergency. Ordered all the students, I don't give a shit where you go, get the hell out of here. Why? Because they do not want there to be any protests. Now, the states are being strategic about what they do. The 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 city preliminarily issued the state of emergency prior to the family having an opportunity to see the body cam footage. The body cam footage was supposed to be viewed by the family at 11:30 a.m. It was pushed back to 1:30 p.m. to give the city an opportunity to issue a state of emergency, to give the city an opportunity to prepare for you people to go out there and protest, to give the city an opportunity to arm themselves and prepare for protests. Now, here is where this gets even worse. This is where we're going with this. There's a point to this. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. I'm sure my girl Nappy Child will be all over this link. This link is going to become very important, because I'm going to need all of you all to go and do your homework. Y'all know I love to give out homework, okay? I'm going to drop this link in the chat. All right. So, see if that link works. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So, the link that I dropped in the chat is a link where they are tracking anti-protest laws and bills around the country, all over the country, and what states where it's been enacted, where it's been proposed and it died, whether it's still pending. It even gives you verbiage with regard to what the law means that they're trying to pass. We're going to get to some of them in a second. But in the great state of North Carolina, once a state of emergency is declared, at that point, any meeting or any unlawful, and unlawful means that you did not get permits and permissions to have them in the great state of North Carolina. Of three or more is deemed unlawful, which means that they can arrest you. And now, when they arrest you, you now have a felony. And once you have a felony on your record in the great state of North Carolina, you no longer have the right to vote. You see where all the see, this is what I'm talking about when they're talking about embedding things. This is what I'm talking about when I say, this is it's systemic. They have thought these things down to the 40th level, where those of us are just thinking it at the first and second level. We're still surface fishing. But now these people are down. Let me, I'm gonna put this up for y'all because I need y'all to see this. Where's my StreamYard link? I want y'all to see what is going on. I want y'all to see what really is going on. Hold on one second. Let me close all this stuff. Hmm. Y'all forgive me. I should have had this already set up. But I want y'all to, because I'm going to click the link for y'all. Oh, it's strategic. It's systemic. It's embedded. And go absolutely MBN. It's so real. It's so sickening. It's so horrible. But they purposely, look how strategic they were. They knew that when the parents, that when the family and when the lawyers saw this body cam footage, they knew. Oh, I'm gonna get there in just a second. To Florida in just a second, Jason. They knew that when this body cam footage was put out there, and the family had an opportunity to see this body cam footage, they knew it was going to be a problem. And they got this black college and this black university over here with all of these black kids. We're not doing that. Oh no, we ain't having that. So what did they do? They put a state of emergency out. They started telling the kids at Elizabeth City State College that they needed to leave yesterday at noon. Yesterday, they put it out to the kids at Elizabeth City University, State University. Y'all need to find somewhere to go. Y'all have 24 hours. At 12 yesterday, I told y'all they didn't let the family see the body cam footage until 1:30. Mm, a mess. Anyway, let me get y'all. Because I want, the reason that I'm bringing this up is it's not just about Andrew Brown, but like I always say, we never go forget. We will never forget. We will never let it go. Um, let the names be not spoken. But this is happening all around the country. Okay, so let me let y'all read some of this stuff that's going on. That is going on. Because I want y'all to see what's going on. Okay? I want y'all to see what's going on. So here is the page that I put the link to in the chat. All right. It shows you a map of the country. Everything blue, be it light blue or aqua or dark blue or aqua, there's either been a law um, put on the floor and died or is pending or may be enacted. Okay. The only ones where you have no legislation coming out is the ones in gray. And if you look, there are just as many blue states in blue, just as there are red states. But let's go to the great state of North Carolina. Now, if I double click the great state of North Carolina, see how it has all of these laws pending laws. Okay. Um, the pending those have been defeated. But let's look at some of the pending laws. Let's look at what they're trying to do. See, they are, wait, what just happened? What I just did? Oh boy, did I just click the wrong thing? Oh, here it is. All right. Read this for me. Read this, y'all. It says new penalties. This one right here. New penalties for campus protesters. Okay. Remember what we just talked about, Elizabeth State University would require that a student who is found to have engaged in certain activity during a protest on a public university campus both be expelled and have their state financial aid revoked for at least one academic period. Covered activity includes anyone who, quote, unlawfully writes or scribbles on, marks, defaces, besmears, or injures the walls of any public building, end quote, statue or monument, as well as anyone who willfully damages public or private property of any kind on campus. As such, a student could be automatically expelled and lose financial aid for chalking a wall during a protest. Eligibility for readmission and reinstatement of aid would be based on restitution for the property damage committed by the student. Y'all see what we got going on here? This is in North Carolina. This is put it together. You see what they're doing. Mind you, we're talking about simple graffiti that across the fruited plains is just simply a misdemeanor. Hey, you ain't even got to go pay a $10, $25 fine and call it a day. We're talking about taking a piece of chalk and scribbling it. Mind you, where I went to school, and at a lot of schools, you have kids that write chalk on the walls and on the ground all the time to promote different parties and different things. That happened a lot when I was in school. You have strategic and with diamond-like precision efforts to stop everything that we got going on. You think they see summertime is coming. They know you people like to be out in the summer. They know they done been killing us left, right, and sideways. So they're putting things in place to stop it. Y'all see why? See, this is why I didn't start off by talking about the Andrew Brown, because this is going to get way bigger than just Andrew Brown. I started off talking about a great HBCU like Elizabeth City State University, where we have, I'm not sure, I didn't even look it up, how many students attend that school, but I don't care if it's 2 students. They declared this state of emergency. They told the students that they had to get out prior to and pushed back the viewing of this tape of this body cam footage by the family and by the lawyers, just so they could have a state of emergency declared. Mind you, at the point that a state of emergency is declared, I told y'all that they make it a felony to have any gathering of 3 or more. This stuff is happening under our own. Remember how vehement I was about how they were, and we put out the websites and stuff like that where you can watch how they were doing all of these, enacting all of these laws for voter suppression. They are doing the same thing with protesting now. Mind you, peaceful protests is in the doggone Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the United States of America. Is it not? Where are my constitutional scholars? Is peaceful protest not a part of the Bill of Rights of these yet to be United States of America? Sure, not unless, as long as you ain't black. No, that bill got denied. Little baby, that bill got denied. Now, here's another bill in the great state of Carolina that's pending, meaning it's on the floor. That's already been introduced, that's going through their state legislature. It says criminal and civil penalties for officials who withdraw police during protests would create new penalties for government officials who try to, quote, stand down police, including a response to protests and demonstrations. The bill broadly prohibits any elected official from interfering with law enforcement officers for causing or attempting to cause them not to enforce the law or not to defend persons or properties. The bill's broad language could bar, for instance, a mayor from publicly encouraging the police to respect protesters' rights and not use excessive force. Under the bill, an official who, quote, interferes with law enforcement in this way is subject to $10,000 fine per incident and up to 30 days in jail. This ain't regular people. We're talking about mayors. We're talking about governors. We are talking about elected officials. This is what y'all got going on. This is what y'all got going on. This is what y'all got going on. Let me finish. The bill provides that law enforcement officers are immune from civil and criminal penalties if they kill or injure another person using reasonable force under the circumstances and acting in good faith to enforce the laws of North Carolina. If enacted, these provisions could undermine local officials' ability to participate in decisions around the policing of protests and could incentivize aggressive police responses. Do you see what's happening here, people? They're even taking it out of the hands of the elected officials. So now we're talking about state attorneys, city attorneys, mayors, and city managers, and all of those people um, who have power over the police force and law enforcement, who can tell law enforcement, no, you can't do that. Now they're saying, oh, basically what they're saying is the police have complete autonomy now. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. But let's continue on in the great state of North Carolina, because this same state where these wonderful, beautiful black students at Elizabeth City State University are, where there was just a few days ago the execution of a black man, where there was once again excessive policing. Do you see where this is going? How they're stacking the deck? Mind you, the likelihood of this not passing is slim and none. And Slim is on life support. So these are probably going to pass. North Carolina is still a red state. I'm just saying. Here's the next one that they're proposing: Senate Bill 300, heightened penalties for riots. Remember what I told y'all? Would increase the penalty for engaging in a, quote, riot from a class 1 misdemeanor to a class H felony, punishable by 25 months in prison. If the, quote, riot resulted in property damage of over 1,500 or injury, anyone deemed to have engaged in the riot, regardless of their role in the damage or injury, could be convicted of a Class G felony, punishable by 31 months in prison. The bill would not alter North Carolina's broad definition of riot, which does not require any actual violence or destructive activity. Under the bill, peaceful protesters in a group of 3 or more, I told y'all that, who present an, quote, imminent threat of disorderly or violent conduct that creates a clear and present danger of property damage or injury could face felony convictions and lengthy prison sentences. And what does it mean when you get felonies on your record? Now they can take your right to vote. And if they can take your right to vote, then that means that they can continue to enact and put bills in place like this. They can continue to influence this country. They can continue the white supremacy and the genocide of black people that's happening all over these yet to be United States of America. And if you don't see this, it's all connected. It's not just the voter suppression. They're not just hitting us from one side. They're hitting us from all sides. They're hitting us from one side, killing us left and right. The other side, they want to stop us from voting. The other side, they want to stop us from protesting the fact that we're not being able to vote, and protesting the fact that they're killing us by saying, if you go out and protest, then we're going to make that a felony and take your right to vote that way. So if we don't get you from the voter suppression, we'll get you for protesting about the voter suppression, because now that's going to become a felony. And now once you have a felony, we can take your right to vote anyway. They are going back at least, they're taking us all the way back at least 120 years, 100 years, 120. They are rolling back laws and taking us all the way back to Jim Crow. Do you see? I'm only showing you one state, y'all. I'm only showing you one state. Oh, this one was so great to me. But this one was just great to me. Look at this one, that the next one that I'm about to read. Local government liability for law or lacks a law enforcement response to protesters. Oh, here's the doozy. Look how strategic this is. It says would open the door to lawsuits against local government entities that withhold or delay law enforcement services during a protest. The bill prohibits mayors, city councils, county commissions, and any other government entity from preventing or delaying law enforcement from accessing an area during a public demonstration. Under the bill, the government entities that violate the prohibition may be held liable for damages approximately caused by the withholding or delaying of law enforcement. If enacted, the bill would require local government to immediately deploy law enforcement to all protests and demonstrations or risk costly lawsuits. So what they're saying is this: oh, we see a bunch of black people over there, and if the mayor or the council say no, they're fine. That's peaceful. It's no problem. Just by them saying that could cost them lawsuits because they can't tell the police no, don't go. Y'all see where this is going, right? Y'all think that they was just gonna let Derek Chauvin's conviction just happen and they weren't going to do stuff? Let's go to some other states. I saw somebody talked about Texas earlier. Y'all know Texas is always with the shits. See what we got going on in Texas. Let's go down. Those did not pass, but let's see what's pending in the great state of Texas. Well, let's first see what's enacted. Here's the first one. This is a bill that is enacted in the great state of Texas. So when I was in Uganda, one of the members of parliament said to me, why don't we just have a whole bunch of black babies so we can multiply the population of the US and take over? This is why I don't get mad at people like Future and Nick Cannon, those people that are helping, us and our cause. But then I get mad when you got the Daniel Camerons of the world and the Tim Scotts of the world, because even though we black, even though they black, that don't mean they doing right by black people. So here's a new law enacted in the great state of Texas. It says new criminal and civil penalties for protests around critical infrastructure. Now, let me say this. Another thing that you will notice for those people who do go to the link, you can put the link in the chat again, if you will, for me on one of my mods. And you go look up your state and some other states. You're going to start to see, this is where they always said, follow the money, follow the money. Because see, black people, we are not just as stupid as they tell us, okay? We know where to hit them where it hurts. You hit them in their pockets. You're starting to see a lot of legislation outlawing protests in or around what they deem as infrastructure, but it's more so deemed at around gas stations, gas pipelines, anything to do with oil. Where's the money? In oil. Because you ain't gonna mess up their money. It's all strategic. It's all strategic. This says that this bill or this new law creates new criminal sanctions and expensive civil liability for protests near pipelines and other infrastructure facilities, including those under construction. The law provides for 4 new criminal offenses. 1, impairing or interrupting operational or critical infrastructure facility is defined as entering or remaining on facility property and intentionally or knowingly impairing or interrupting the operation of the facility. The act is a state jail felony, punishable by up to 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. This provision could target peaceful protests that For example, hinder access to pipelines or pipeline construction sites. A second offense, intent to impair or interrupt critical infrastructure, is defined as entering or remaining on facility property with the intent to impair or interrupt the operation of the facility. The act is a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. The provision could capture peaceful protests that take place near a pipeline or other infrastructure facility, regardless of whether they actually impair or interrupt the facility's operation. So, mind you, Joe, the worker down here at the facility, could say, "Listen, I don't like they too loud out there outside the gate. They ain't stopping me from getting in. They ain't stopping me from working. But because they too loud, it's bothering my spirit. Can somebody go out there and tell the police that they are committing a felony, and they'll be arrested?" Abby, we just did a whole 45-minute rant on your great state of North Carolina. You probably want to go. It's a whole lot going on in your great state of North Carolina, Abby. We just did a whole 45 minutes on North Carolina. A mess. A mess. I'm not going to go through reading all of this, but part of this bill also involves when you protest in you know how sometimes they have to protest and people will block the streets. So what's happening is that is also included in the infrastructure part, and so now that's a felony. So it here's what's happening. What's happening is they want you to protest on their terms, which means that they don't want you to protest at all. And this is why when the Colin Kaepernick situations were happening and all of these things, and people were saying, well, there's a certain way to protest. There's no, the whole point of a protest is to make you uncomfortable. The whole point of a protest is to make you say, pay attention and say, oh, that's happening. But if you could just shoo me to the side and tell me, just going on over there, guess what's going to happen? You're going to keep riding by and not pay attention to me. And my concerns are never going to be addressed. And so now, with the advent of them making it a felony at this point for people to protest, you now talking about people going to jail, people having felonies on their record, people losing the right to vote, and now they can just continue to push forward their agenda. These people have said by any means necessary, they are not going to lose 2024. They will win 2024 by any means necessary. And you see that happening right now. It's a whole mess. Um, I mean, every state, as you can see, you start to see this heightened penalties for protest, where it goes from being a misdemeanor to being a felony now. It's all strategic. It's all strategic. I don't want to belabor the issue and read it, but you can go and look at it. I did want to talk about my great state of Florida. Let me take the let me stop sharing screen. I dare not just have a 45-minute rant and soliloquy on, it was about 30 minutes, on the great state of North Carolina and not talk about my home state of Florida. How would I not do that? Because Governor Ron DeSantis, who's diet Donald Trump, that's what we'll call him, is might be a little worse. Because guess what? Just like with Diet Mountain Dew, it has way more caffeine than regular Mountain Dew. Diet Donald Trump might have a little more punch and impact than regular Donald Trump. So, in my great state of Florida, dear God, Lord help us. it is now legal, or you have immunity if you run over protesters. Let that sit for a while. This is what we got going on, y'all. In the great state of Florida, a bill has passed and been enacted where now there is immunity for anyone that said they were fleeing or avoiding a protest, and they use their car to hit someone. That person can die, that person can be injured, that person can be maimed, but the person driving the car, who may be intentionally driving into protesters, are now having immunity. So remember in Charlottesville, Virginia, when that man ran into that lady and killed her, someone like him would have immunity and would not be able to be charged with anything and would go home and not be bothered. Hey, Miss Baythang, this is what we got going on. This is what we have going on. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. Y'all see what's going on. I ain't gonna even go through it. There's also bills that's in Florida that's been enacted that makes it now a felony. Anytime three or more people are gathered and the police for whatever cause deem that they don't like that gathering, they can be deemed rioters, and now they can be charged with a felony. And now they will take their right to vote. Because what Florida legislators said in their great infinite wisdom is, because see, what happened was, excuse me, there was a vote a few years ago, maybe about how many years ago was that? Maybe about 6, 7 years ago, where we voted in Florida, maybe about 5 or 6, to restore the rights of people who have felonies, so that once you got out of jail, your right to vote wasn't forever taken for the rest of your life. So there was a vote. We voted. We rescinded that law, and so it gave felons the right to vote again. But that was a problem for the Republican Party because they said, "Hold on," because we knew most of the people that we put in jail and gave felonies to are black, and we damn sure don't want none of these black people voting no more. Oh hell no! Nah. Oh hell no! So now they're putting things in place. Mhm. They're putting things in place to say, "Oh, you thought that was going to go that easy? Okay, we y'all thinking about it that way. We gonna hit y'all from another side." So now y'all done got out of jail. Oh, y'all want to go over here and protest? Well, we'll put some more y'all in jail. We gonna take away your right to vote either way. You black people will not be voting either way. That's what they're saying to us. What they're saying to us is we now um we now have things in place that even go further than some of the Jim Crow laws. Okay, and one of the parts of the bills that was enacted in Florida says that a city is not authorized or allowed to cut the budget for police unless they get approval from the governor. Or I think it's the governor or the state legislature. It's state approval. It has to be state approval. So I believe it's either the governor or the state legislature, but I'll check on that. But my point is, just like we talked about the bills in North Carolina that they're enacting, these things are happening across the country. It's not just North Carolina. It's not just Florida. It's all over the country. Y'all saw what that map looked like. Hey, it's me, D. Go to your respective state. I'll give you an example. We were talking about Arizona. Let's see what the great state of Arizona is doing. Um, because it's all over the place, y'all. It's not just well, no, I ain't gonna even do Arizona. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick you know what? I'm gonna pick Missouri, where Josh Hawley is from. Let's do Missouri, the great state of Missouri, where Josh Hawley is. Okay, that Josh Hawley. Dear God, here's what they have in already enacted: new penalties for protests near gas and oil pipeline. I told y'all. Y'all see what's going on with the oil and pipeline. I told y'all that was happening all over the place. Y'all know what that's about. Limiting public employees' ability to picket. So that was a law enacted that says certain public employees cannot picket. The law requires that all labor agreements negotiated between public body and labor organizations shall expressly prohibit all strikes and picketing of any kind. That's for you people in unions that want to strike. No, we're not doing that. You want to picket? No, we're not doing that. New penalties for protesters who block traffic would increase the penalty for obstructing public street or highway to a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. A second offense could be a Class E felony, punishable by 1 to 4 years in prison. If a person commits unlawful traffic interference on an interstate highway, it is a Class E felony, punishable on the first offense by a suspended sentence of probation for 5 years, 100 hours of community service, and a fine of up to $750. The offense of traffic interference on a public street, highway, or interstate highway while part of an quote unlawful assembly end quote is a Class D felony. For a first offense, the court shall impose a term of supervised probation for 5 years, 100 hours of community service, and a fine of up to $1,000. An unlawful assembly is defined under the bill as two or more persons meeting with the purpose of violating any law such as the prohibition of on traffic interference. New penalties for protesters and shields for those who commit violence against them. Would introduce a raft of new provisions affecting protesters, including civil immunity for drivers who injure protesters and a new affirmative defense for other acts of violence against protests. The bill provides that a driver who injures someone who was, quote, blocking traffic in a public right of way while participating in a protest or demonstration, end quote, is not liable for damages if the driver was exercising due care. I'll say exercising due care with my quotation fingers. The bill would also expand Missouri's stand your ground law, allowing a person to use deadly force against someone who is participating in an unlawful assembly and who unlawfully enters or attempts to enter private property that is owned or leased by the person. The bill introduces a series of new penalties for conduct associated with some protests. Protesters who block traffic could be charged with a new felony, up to 4 years in prison and a $10,000 fine for intentionally walking, standing, sitting, kneeling, laying, or placing an object in a manner that blocks passage by a vehicle on any public street, highway, or interstate highway. The offense could be a Class D felony. We talked about that. We just talked about that. Under the bill, protesters who vandalize, deface, or otherwise damage public monuments or structures on public property could be charged with, quote, institutional vandalism, end quote, a Class B felony, punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Finally, the bill would create a new offense of, quote, conspiring with others to cause or produce a riot or unlawful assembly, end quote, defined as knowingly providing payment or other financial incentive to six or more people to violate the Missouri laws against rioting or unlawful assembly. What they're saying is we can kill you, we can run you over. If y'all out here and we see y'all protesting, we can blow y'all off the earth. That is pending. That was introduced back in December. Let's be clear. Oh, yes, they're here for it. We just talked about that, eliminating civil and criminal liability for drivers who hit protesters. Just a mess. Heightened penalties for blocking roads. We talked about that. It's a whole mess. A whole mess. So, this is what I mean when I say this is not just happening in a bubble. It's happening widespread. It's all over the place. Look how blue the whole country is blue, except even Hawaii and Alaska has stuff. Some it's been defeated, but there was proposals there. Little baby, I see you asking where this is coming from. You know where it's coming from. It's coming from the Trumpers. It's coming from people on the right who are saying, we lost. We need a way we lost. We need a way to protect ourselves. We need a way to protect our police officers and so forth and so on. And it's just now, mind you, here's the interesting thing. You see how the language is conveniently vague sometimes? What that means is it's subjective. When they see our black asses out there, they're going to hold it to the harshest extent. When their white asses go out there, then it's going to be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't quite that. They've already set it up. Y'all, I don't know. I really thought I was only going to be on here for like 45 minutes. And y'all see I'm going on an hour and 22 minutes. A mess. But I had to spend some time on North Carolina because that's a whole mess. Do y'all so now I can't even when some of these laws pass in states like Missouri and North Carolina and Texas and all of these other places, you can't even look to your mayors and government officials to help you. You can't even go to your state attorney's office or your district attorney's office and say, "Can you help us with the police?" Because they are enacting laws that says that lawmakers cannot stop the police. They're enacting laws that say that you cannot even cut the police funding unless you get it approved by the governor or the legislature who is in bed with the police unions. But there was none of this smoke and energy for the terrorists on January 6th. A mess. So, what you're saying is, y'all can kill us. Every day we look up, it's a new person. Every day we look up, it's a new hashtag of a new black person that has been murdered or executed in these yet to be United States at the hand of law enforcement. And what you're telling us is, and every day we also see another voter suppression law that's being passed to stop us from voting. So what you're telling us is we cannot protest, even though the Bill of Rights in these yet to be United States of America by way of the Constitution authorizes and gives us the right for peaceful protests. We can't do that anymore because it involves us black people. That right? I'm just making sure I'm clear. Because this is what's going on. And for some of us to bury our heads in the sand and for us to think that, oh, well, it's going to get better. Oh, I have to believe that um I have to have hope that it's going to get better. The hope comes in the fight. The hope comes in. I'm out here windmilling in the streets, fighting against this, using my voice, using my platforms. Because what they're saying is this: the streets will no longer be a place where you can go to protest. So here's what they're doing: they're making the laws where you cannot do it in the middle of the streets. They're making laws in states that says if you're outside of some of the states' law says that if you're outside of a private building and they call the police, It can be deemed unlawful protest, and you can be arrested then. You can't do it around gas stations or infrastructure. You can't do anything. So what they're saying is the only place you can protest is in your goddamn front yard. And then in that case, they still gonna find a way to shoot us down. So what they're saying is, damn you and your protest. So if you're telling us that we cannot protest, that's fine. You all have stacked the deck against us every time. And so every time we have to come up with a new way. See, we're always innovative as black people. We always find a way. And then y'all have to come and be reactive and try to, pass laws against us. That's fine. We'll start using our platforms more. And we have to begin to use our platforms to put the information out there so people know. Because if people in states like North Carolina and Florida and all of these other states where these things are happening, if you have no idea that these things are happening, you will go out there and fall victim to these laws that you had no idea had been enacted, because they try to slip them under the cloak of night. You know what I'm saying? They try to slide them in under the dark of night and under the cloak of night, as if we won't notice and won't see them. Oh, we see you. Oh, we see you. We see you. I'm done ranting and raving, y'all. The politics of it all. The politics of it all. Listen, y'all. I am here to give y'all the information. Y'all need to go and do your homework now. I need y'all to go, and I need y'all to look this stuff up, and I need y'all to see what's going on in your respective states. And not just in your state, look at the states around your state. Because 9 times out of 10, if it's happening in a state that is near your state, it could very well be coming to your state. So that becomes very important that you do your homework, see what's going on, and inform yourself and become informed on what you can and cannot do. I am not going to tell you to go out there and break laws, because I need everybody who can have the right to vote to vote. I need all of us to keep our rights to vote. So if that means that they're not going to allow us to do protests anymore, then we got to find another way. We always have to be forward thinking and progressive in our thinking, being proactive instead of reactive. But we can't be proactive if we don't have the foresight to see what's coming. So a lot of these laws, as I showed you, it says it was pending. And if it's not in place now, that means you still have a chance. You still can send phone calls. You still can send letters. You still can do all of those things that can give you, that can start to empower you and reach out to legislators to let them know that these things can't stand, because something has to be done. Okay. So I do though have, I've been working on it. I'm almost done. To one important video, I told you I had a video coming out about the young black politicians or young black political figures around the country. I got one of those coming out. I've been doing my homework on that, as well as I owe y'all another Deshaun Watson. It's just so much going on with Deshaun Watson. I can't even keep up. Every day is two or three more. Is two or three more new things I can keep up. Anyway, I'm about to get off here, y'all. I got to go to work. As I always said, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank y'all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you, Button Jessica, and anybody else who made any contributions to me and or the channel. I am so grateful and appreciative to all of you for all that you do. Y'all are so great and so kind to me. I thank y'all for sitting here and listening to me talk politics, because it's important. We can't just do the mess. We can't just do that. You all need to be empowered. You need to be informed. I recommend send this out to a friend. Tell a, I don't even usually say like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that. But some of this information that we're putting out there is important to us and what we do and how we live and have our being. And so we need to get it out there to as many people as we can. Okay. That's all I got for y'all today. Shonda's around the chat. Shonda's in the building before we get out. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.